Good evening. My name's Danielle. I am the Divine Channeler and I will be here for the next hour. This space is called Oneness. It is about connection, not only connection between you and I, but connection between us and spirit. It's also about channeling. So I will be introducing you to trance channeling through actually doing the channel and bringing through high dimensional beings of light and conversations. So hopefully this can be a two-way street. We'd love for you to engage and we can get conversations going. So I'm just going to wait for a few of you to jump on board. In the meantime, I have just got back from Goulburn, from the Living Wellness and Psychic Expo, which was fantastic. It was nice to get back out there. It's our fifth event there in the last 4 or 5 years. So it's always nice to head to the rural areas and help to engage with the communities, because not only are you connecting with Goulburn, but because we're rural, you're connecting with all the surrounding communities as well. So it's really nice to touch base with all of them instead of them having to go and travel to somewhere else to see something like Living Wellness events. So I will ask that if you can like and share this space as well. That helps everything kind of move along, and it's a nice exchange of energy. I will just let you know what I do have coming up. So if anyone's here, if you could just let me know who you are, just send me a little like or a hello. That would be fantastic. And I'll just let you know what I've got coming up in the next little bit. So May has been quite busy so far with the expo, and then in a couple of weeks I'll be heading to the Canberra Boho Lux markets. I will be offering soul guidance readings while I am there. So if anyone is interested in booking in, I am open for pre-bookings. Hi, Gayleen. Nice to see you. And then on the 25th of May, I am heading to Cowra for private readings. I believe I only have 2 appointments left. So if anyone is from Cowra or surrounding areas, you can contact me via any of the methods on the bottom of the screen, and I'll be doing 25-minute private readings out that way. Hi, Annette. Nice to see you. So there is a little bit coming up. That is only May. I did contemplate kind of putting June on, and I thought, you know what, I might just get halfway through May before we contemplate June. It is a busy year for me, and I have started planning 2025 only because of Living Wellness events and because of other events that I attend personally as the Divine Channeler. It is quite a bit to schedule all of that and make sure that I'm not wearing myself too thin. So weekly, we have this space. On Tuesdays at 7:30, we have Oneness. On Thursdays, I have the trance-channeled meditation and ascension classes. Generally, Monday, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, you can book in for one-on-one sessions such as soul guidance readings, healing sessions, house clearings, mentoring sessions, any of that stuff. So you can find all of those information about all of those services on my website on thedivinechanneler.com.au. Alrighty. So how have we been? I do know that it's a little bit hard sometimes for me to gauge exactly what's going on collectively, because I have so much going on in my own world, and I do know that I've come off the back of an event, and I do know that that event was on a portal or on a gateway on the 5th of the 5th, and I do know that that brings in a lot of extra energies. But what I do know, gee, I tend to know a lot. What I do know personally within myself was that I was feeling quite exhausted. I know when I checked in with class last week that they had much the same theme going on. I feel like we go through, they're just giving me some guidance now. We go through preparation spaces where our okay, so this is different because more often than not, we're talking about integration, aren't we? And the need to slow down in order for integration. This, what they're telling me, is the preparation stage, ready for the influx of light codes and information and the release, and then the integration. So it's like bookends. That's what they're showing me, bookends. That you'll have one at the start where you might find that you'll go inwards, that you'll be a little exhausted, you'll need to rest, then you'll receive all these light codes, and then you'll go into your integration phase. So yay, go us. there's quite a lot going on. And I have spoken before that everything is much faster than what it used to be. Our the times between receiving and releasing and integrating used to be quite far apart, and now we're just doing these ones pretty much all the time. It does mean that we have leveled up numerous times, and so we become a little bit more proficient maybe at processing, or a little bit more not only proficient but encompassing or accommodating to what our needs are. We understand that life is incredibly busy, and that so they're saying that that's almost a smokescreen to keep you stuck on the wheel, so to speak. So that's quite interesting, because it keeps you distant from yourself, from your inner self, from what you've got going on. So, okay, so be aware of that. Be aware of how your busyness limits you and impacts your capacity to kind of feel what you've got going on personally, or where you're at, or what you'd like to explore or expand into. I've never looked at it that way, because the whole world is busy, right? This is the pace that currently society and the collective is moving at. But Spirit is calling it a smokescreen. They're calling it a space of distraction, is what they're saying. So that's quite interesting. It keeps our head pointed in a different direction instead of focusing on things that are maybe, look, importance and the level of importance that you place on things is your prerogative. So I don't want to say that's more important, but it keeps you distracted from your soul self or your spirit. So it's really important. What I did notice over the weekend when I did a trance channel at the Living Wellness and Psychic Expo in Goulburn was that Archangel Michael come through, and you guys know he's been one of the first energies that I've trance channeled. I've been working with him for quite a lengthy time beforehand with hands-on healing. He always has he has a light, fun, jovial energy, and then as soon as he gets into teaching mode or healing mode or whatever it is, it's all serious business, right? Now, in this instance, in this channel, it was so interesting because he really cut to the chase, and he did not muck around, and we went really deep, really fast, and I felt the difference in the energy within my body. So I think there was a fair amount, another level of me letting go in that public forum, because it's very different trance channeling amongst movement and noise compared to doing it in the privacy of my own home, where The dogs are tucked away, the child's out, there's no distractions, the phones are off, everything's quiet. So I felt myself letting go on another level, and the message was really intense about how the external factors in our world are impacting us, but they're also creating internal stresses. And he even got people to acknowledge by saying yes. Well, he didn't force them to. He said, "Do you understand?" And then people were saying yes. Now, he doesn't normally do that. So there was much more engagement. So it was very different for me, which is good. Different's good. Different is perfectly fine. And as we move through leveling up, things will feel different. And I quite often find that when we do level up, things feel quite intense. And that's just to let you know that things have changed. And then the next time that said thing happens, you don't get that same kind of buzz or that same intense feeling, but that's because you've already recognized that things are different, and then now there's a familiarity with it. So it used to happen to me really often when new energies come through, or there was a new healing energy coming through, and then the next time I'd feel that same energy come through, and it's like, doesn't feel the same, but it's only there for you to recognize that things have changed. Okay, Gayleen's got a bit going on. Was feeling a little bit flat last week, but today my energy is better. I had to rest today. Actually, you know what? I didn't rest. I did about 7 hours of work, and I got up early and did 7 hours of straight work. And then I needed to go and have a sleep. So I rested, but I did get things done. I'm glad your energy's feeling better. Oh, okay. I've just changed from 5 work days a week to 4, so I have more me time. Fantastic, because you've got more space to inquire as to what you've got going on, because it requires stillness, doesn't it? And when we're busy and in that distraction, like Spirit was talking about, it can be challenging for us to kind of know if we're Arthur or Martha. So, yeah. Alrighty. I don't have too much to share tonight. Like I said, I have come off the back of an event and I was exhausted. Hi, Janelle. Nice to see you. So if anyone does have any questions, I'll open the space for some questions. We can see if Spirit has any topics that they would like to talk about. But then we will get into the trance channel. Okay, so I've opened the floor for Spirit, so they've decided that they would like to share something. They're mentioning about giving our energy away. And there's no harm in being open and sharing your energy. But it's also important to be mindful how that energy is being received. So if you're pouring into an empty cup, somebody else's cup, and you're hell-bent on saving them or fixing them or helping them, there's a point where you can choose, because you're in control of what you're doing, how much you invest your time and energy into those spaces. And this could be any situation. I'm not talking about one situation specifically, but I think we've all been in those spaces where we have given, and it's generally hindsight that shows us how much of ourselves that we've invested in another person. And I suppose the question is, I wonder what would happen if we invested that amount of time and energy and love and care and kindness into ourselves instead of pouring it into somebody else that's maybe not entirely receptive to receiving what you have to offer. And it's not saying to not love them or not care or not be kind. It's not saying that at all. It's just saying that you get to choose where you would like to place your energy. And that is really important now, kind of knowing what we know and creating the space for ourselves to be able to expand, because anything we do for ourselves and help shift our own stuff and increase our own frequency assists the collective. So it means that the types of people that you come across will be different. It means there will be, like-mindedness and shared beliefs or shared frequencies. It means that there could be quite a lot of change, but it's change that will place you into a space that is more supportive, than you being the rock for everyone else. And I speak from experience here that I was quite dependent on being the rock for everyone else. And I was good at it. And people called on me for it all the time in all kinds of weird situations, especially random people I didn't even know would share so much of what they had going on with me. Now my energy says, look, it's a safe space for you to share, and that's okay. I'm familiar with that. I'm okay with that. But it's my choice how much I engage in that situation, isn't it? So, like I said, I was dependent upon that, and now I'm not dependent upon that. So that means I'm a little bit more mindful of how I share energy. I'm definitely very open and receptive to other people, but as to how much they get of me is up to me. So I think that in connecting that with that distraction that we've got going on with the busyness of the world, that it keeps us kind of stuck in that hamster wheel, that it's important to also look at where you're investing your time and energy. I'm notorious for checking out, and there are much healthier ways that I could check out. I'm human like everyone else. It doesn't matter what I do or how I heal or who I bring through, but I like to sit down and watch Netflix, and I might binge, and that's how I check out. But there could definitely be more productive and healthier ways for me to support myself, which might be just going for a walk out in the bush, and then I can go home and watch Netflix, right? So just be mindful of what's kind of going on at the moment, and how you're becoming kind of drawn away from yourself, and it's all about getting back into your center. Okay, Janelle's feeling that as well. Yeah, it's challenging, especially when there's really strong ties and connections. I think we can love people best when we love ourselves, I think. And with that love for ourselves, we can make kind of more informed decisions. And when we love ourselves and care for ourselves on those levels, we're confident in the decisions that we make. So we won't be harboring, we would have already processed a lot of what is going on in any given situation. And we would have worked through the hurts and the grief and the letting go and all that kind of stuff, and potentially wouldn't be harboring any guilt or shame or any of those things as well. So just remember that what we have going on is this beautiful reflective space for us to learn more about ourselves and how we interact and how we give, and whether we give too much, and whether we put everyone else first, and whether we try to fix everything. And so like I said earlier, it's imagine if the amount of energy that you pour into other people, that you turned that around and gave that to yourself. What would you look like if you did that? That would be amazing. Oh, thanks, Lee, for confirming that. And thanks for joining us. Look, I don't have a script for tonight. I'm getting more and more comfortable with tonight. I actually chose, I made a conscious choice that I wasn't going to think about what I was going to speak about. I was actually going to just open the platform for spirit, and it's flowed a lot easier for me. So I hope it translates for you guys as well. So Galen finds that she gives advice but doesn't get emotionally involved. It takes a little bit of practice, doesn't it, Galen, to be aware and observant but detached, not entangled in the narrative that's going on, because you have a choice and this is what Michael was saying on Sunday, is that you have a choice as to whether you want to be enmeshed in these external stories or narratives that then become internal stories and narratives. Obviously, you need to look first, or it's beneficial to look first at what is being triggered for you, at what is coming up for you. Like it's so beneficial to perceive that everything that is happening for you, and to take that moment of reflection and inner journey in order to see what it's stirring up. We've all got this beautiful onion or this lovely big pond, and it's muddy underneath, and it's just a cumulative space of everything that we have been through, and we've pushed down, and we've stored, and we've created, and we've been programmed and indoctrinated, and all the rest of it. So this space, this opportunity, this reality, because this is only one of many different spaces that your soul is inhabiting at this time. It's just a matter of understanding that everything is happening for you, not to you. And when we can move to that position, then it's much easier to be in that observant space rather than enmeshed in the story. And generally when we ask, and I think last week I said something about, I forget to even do that myself, which I do, to ask, to have another level of inquiry. Ask yourself, what is this showing me? And then just sit quietly and see what comes up. You might just have an emotion or a memory or something like that. So, yeah. Oh, wow. So that's all how you've always been. That's interesting, Galen. It took me many years to not be emotionally charged by what other people had going on. And I think if I look at the me kind of 15, 20 years ago, I would get angry over certain situations, and it generally had to do with injustices. I've got this big thing with injustices, and bullies and things like that. So that would get me a little hot under the collar. And now it just is. It just is. Alrighty. We might move into a trance channel and see what Spirit has in store if no one has any more questions or anything that they would like to add. I feel like I've done enough talking, and I would like to share a trance channel with you guys. I want to thank you for joining me in this space because it grants me another opportunity to engage with spirit in this way, because I don't normally do a trance channel unless I have an audience. I have once during COVID, I think it was, brought through a trance channel, and it was really weird. It was very strange to not be knowing that you had an intended audience, but they weren't actually physically there in front of you. So I think I prefer having an audience. So thank you for being here. Okay, so for anyone that has not watched a trance channel or is watching the replay, we can say that we are at the 27-minute mark, and I will put a timestamp on the information after this. This is a multi-dimensional transmission, so it will be assisting on all levels. It is a space of meditation, so we do request that you move into that space. So that will require that there are no distractions, preferably in your space, that your phone is turned off. It's very important to ensure that your body is uncrossed. When we cross our legs, we are kind of crossing off our energy, cross our arms. So just be mindful of that, to be open regarding that. And what else do I want to say? Spirit, once again, this is a free fall space for me. I am unsure as to who is coming in. If you do a class with me, then I generally know who's coming in, but I get a brief about what it is that we're doing, which I share with class before we start the trance channeling. All you have to do is just breathe and listen. That's it. The fact that you've showed up means that you have the intention to engage. So thank you. All right. So just give me a minute to shift gears. My mum's watching. Hi, Mum. I can't see it on the laptop, but I can see it on my phone. All right, guys. Welcome. We are pleased to be with you at this time. We come to you from the sacred feminine energies, and we understand that many of you are reacquainting yourself with these energies. We know that it has been a challenging space to be all-encompassing of your divine feminine energies. There has been a need in the past to protect yourself or even hide these energies. This is a part of every gender that exists upon the planet, and it is a space where that you equally have divine feminine and divine masculine energy within you. We know that many are operating primarily on one energy, and that the balance is a little dependent on one rather than the other. So maybe you could ask yourself, how are you currently operating? From which energetic perspective are you engaging with others? And which energetic perspective are you engaging within your reality in situations? When you are equally balanced, you can call on both energies at one time, but you will maneuver when things are needing to be actioned, then you will sit more in the masculine energy. And when the nurturing is required, then you will sit more in the feminine energy. And it is nothing to be fearful of to be encompassing so readily in one energy more than the other. It is just about creating that balance and that harmony within your body. So we would like to assist you. We would like to help you to bring forth the feminine energy within you to take its place equally beside the divine masculine energy. And if you feel that you are in reverse, you can reverse the words that we are saying. So taking a big deep breath, allowing the frequency of our voice to help you to shift your frequency. We, as the collective of the divine feminine ray, will be surrounding you in light. And this light will feel warm and soft, supportive and nurturing. And how do you feel when you are surrounded by this light? Is it easy for you to accept this frequency? Or is there a pushback, a rejection? You may like to inquire deeper as to where this comes from and ask the wounding, the narrative, the story to present itself to you. And give yourself permission to receive the nurturing, to receive the love that you are deserving. Moving through any barriers, any blockages, any limitations. And how does that feel as you allow the frequency in to support you? Do you feel safe, protected, loved? This energy will help you to connect to your own divine feminine energy. So ask her to step forward and present as an image before you so that you can see or feel for yourself whether she feels downtrodden, suppressed, limited. Is she hiding, or is she vibrant, loud, and present? And just ask for some healing for her, as you may be releasing persecution imprints, poverty imprints, abuse imprints. And just see that the shackles are being removed, that she's standing taller, becoming more radiant. But there is a strength within her that is fierce, unwavering. And then you might like to ask your divine masculine energy to step before you, to be represented as an image of a man. And that he places his arm around her. And how does she feel in that space? Does she feel protected or controlled? And just allow the radiance of light to help to shift those traumas, those experiences. For the divine masculine sits equal to the divine feminine within. Embracing each other. And you feel their energies gravitating towards you, as there will be a unification of the balance of the divine feminine and the divine masculine within you. Just take a few moments for this to transpire. Feel the strength of both of them within. that you have access to this now. And you may like to ask them, as a unified energy, how you can help yourself. Do they have any insights or messages for you at this time? Receive these messages now. We send you love. We send you support. It is an honor to be with you. We are the Divine Feminine. Now that the integration is complete, we ask that you focus upon the breath, allowing the breath to guide you gently back to the body, to become aware of the space that you are in, to become aware of the sounds that are in the space and outside of the space. And as you become present in the breath, you become present in your body, feeling the weight of the body, the position of the body, the clothing and coverings upon the body, feeling your place, your presence upon the earth, and your connection to Mother Earth. As you call yourself back, calling all aspects of self back into the body, back into full awareness of this space, full awareness of this moment, and full awareness of your physicality. Just creating some gentle movement, wriggling your hands and toes, having a stretch. And in your own time, when you are ready, Opening your eyes. How are we going? That's nice. My eyes leaking. Many single women sit more comfortably in their masculine energy because we've had to. And many of us can struggle to get back into that balance with the feminine energy because we're, it's hard. And I suppose, equally it can work the other way as well, or different situations. It's just that we become more reliant on one energy than being in a balanced state. But obviously, there's much more benefits in being in a balanced state. And I know I've consciously worked on being more readily in that feminine energy over the years. Because sometimes even being in that masculine energy for so long, we can become quite defensive and be ready to push things away. So it's about being more open and creative in order to be that receptacle to receive. Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful, Gayleen. Whenever I think of my masculine and feminine, I picture them dancing together. That's beautiful. That's a lovely thing to do. You're welcome, James. Thanks for turning up. I really appreciate that. I love the trance channeling too. So thanks for joining, Annette. Some big shifts, lots of yawning. Yeah, yawning is processing, isn't it? And my eyes were weeping. I find sometimes in the trance channel that my eyes leak. I'm not actually crying, but there is your tears, and when we cry, our nose runs. I did find something out which was incredibly. I think I shared this a while back, that your tears contain the exact remedy regarding what it is that you're crying about, and they're kind of designed to drip into your mouth. So ingesting it is, lick those tears up. They're good for you. But I find in the trance channeling that, sometimes my eyes are leaking. It's not that I'm crying though. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me. I do hope that helped. I hope that you are more conscious of kind of where you're operating from, or where maybe there's an imbalance, so that you can create more opportunity for balance. To take stock, to know that you can use both of those energies to help you through whatever it is that you're going through. Sometimes we automatically react out of one rather than the other. So especially if that divine feminine was quite suppressed, you might find that you've got no voice. Maybe there's feelings of aggression that's coming up because of all of that. So you're acting more in that masculine energy. Thank you, Gayleen, for your time. I really appreciate that. And same for your week. So, interesting. Take care of yourselves, nurture yourselves. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway from this as well, to gift yourself the amount of energy that you constantly give others. And just be mindful that you have an infinite supply of light and love, that when that is an open space without conditions, then it can freely flow, and that you're less impeded or impacted upon by other things. I hope that makes sense to you. Thanks, Lee. Thanks for joining. All right, guys, we're going to have a slightly early mark, a few minutes early. If anyone is interested in joining classes on Thursdays at 6 p.m, we go deeper. We do class goes for an hour and a half. I say all the time, we don't do light and fluffy, we do the deep soul work. If you are interested in moving along regarding your ascension and clearing the pathway for yourself, it is a pretty nice space to be in. And we do all different kinds of things with all different kinds of high dimensional beings of light. It's always a surprise every week. Otherwise, if you would like to connect with me one-on-one for a private reading or a soul guidance session or a house clearing or some mentoring, spiritual mentoring, whatever you have going on, just please contact me. You can contact me by phone or email, or you can text me, whatever you like. So thank you so much for joining. Be kind to yourselves, guys, and I will see you next Tuesday at 7:30 for Oneness. Thank you.